That's it. I'm in. I'm in. Yes, can you hear
Oh
me now?
shit. Okay,
You can hear me.
I could hear you,
Okay.
but
Is it?
it's this shit. Anyway,
Ah.
hey, I'm sorry.
No sweat. No sweat, man. Shoot. There's
Oh,
always technical difficulties when your message is good enough, right? The bound. All kind.
were
Is it
you
windy?
always? Yeah, no, it's sunny. It's like 80s.
Oh, okay. Is it? I mean, is there wind on the microphone or anything?
No,
Because I got.
it's
Okay.
nothing. I'm in the room. I don't get it.
Okay.
Were you
No,
always
no. All
this?
right. Oh,
Go. What's up? Tell me.
it was that always just what?
You were gonna say. Oh, well, enlighten. Like there's something. Hmm, how do I say it? Like I'm still trying to describe you.
Okay. So yeah. All right. Let's just go at it then. All right. So I have two modalities, right? That I
Okay.
do really really well. One of them is like the super secretive me. That's the majority of the time, right?
Hmm.
That's 80% of my life, and I'm just on my own, solo cholo, dude. And I'm just mostly paying attention to nature and farms, to be totally honest with you. But very capable of much more, right? And then there's this other 20% of my time where I just really have this very extreme shotgun approach, at least that I want to do, right? And or that I want to be. So I'll just kind of shotgun this whole thing at you. We'll do the 20% modality. So to answer your question, yes, I've been fairly intuitive. I don't know if enlightened, I would say. And that's because from 10 to like 17, we'll just jump right into this, right? My mother was having me locked up in all these places so that with all these Native American kids this happened to in Albuquerque, all these places are knocked down now. There's like haunted stories on certain ones, right? And a lot of us were in most of them. Most of the people that were in them are still in some situation like that today. So they're not going to be telling you a story like this. And but yeah, something happened way back then. And I just started telling this story. There's so many fragments of this long story that I could tell that are so unbelievable. I can just only tell. I was like, think about because otherwise I'm just gonna sound like I'm lying. But what I will say, the summary of it all is the greater the resistance, the greater the strength, right? So these hardcore pains and challenges that life throws at them, smile real big, because that is your gate. As long as you take it on confrontationally, honestly, self-evaluatively, complete evaluatively, as if it's a chess game, mapping out all the moves and making above proud of you because you're doing all the steps and you're being an A gamer and this thing that we called life, you'll get respect from above and you'll get blessed and you'll become a conduit for that kind of positive polar energy. And so that's
Mm.
what I think a lot of people will read from me, right? And so having a liar, child abuser, piece of crap as a mother, I'm thankful for her. I forgive her. I'm just saying what it is, you know.
Right.
That really galvanized me, like, oh, okay, that's not, I don't want to be that, you know what I mean? So I'm way over here where most people, you can't be that good, he's not really that honest, you're not really, you know. And if I was to try to say this to most people, they would be like, because they're not, because
Mhm.
they're not. But
It's about
I
them.
can tell you, I can tell you transparently that I'm really here and committed to living a life as absolutely clean and as absolutely good and polar positive as I possibly can, you know. And I want to do it the right way every step of the way, the journey being the destination, you know, and savor the moments as well, and you know, try to just do as good as much as I possibly can.
Yeah,
So
I've learned this. I've said this in the show before from Judge Judy. Everyone should watch that show because you have to come with clean hands
Hua, for sure,
with
for
everything.
sure.
So you can be an example when your hands are dirty.
No, I love it. I love it. And not to say that I'm gonna be an example either. I'm very much a fellow journeyman with
Hmm.
everyone, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Not to say that I'm any kind of polar feet washing better than you, you know what I mean? Either, right? You know, I'm
Right.
very
We walk
much,
together. We walk
yeah, you know,
together.
I feel like you said, honesty being the best. Honesty is the best policy. Is a big part of having those clean hands. If I'm very honest with you about that, I'm not a perfect being. That I am super flawed, just like everyone else. That's part of having those. So I just want to mention that because we can totally front end this. I just want to give a how that you can proceed very clean, even though we are imperfect human beings.
Yeah.
And
So you have siblings?
so I have a whole bunch of siblings, right? Because anyone who came up in the hardcore like I did is right away my sibling. Anyone who, I mean, honestly, anyone who is a son of God in the foxhole we call life is the sibling. And as long as I look at it like that and I treat everyone, yeah, they might be shocked because it's not within them. They might not be like, wow, you can't be this cool. Where's the dagger? When I really just don't have one. I just want to see you win. And I'm really coming at you as this big supportive personality. I realize most people haven't had that before, but you can be that. You can be that. You can be that supporter, excellent, cool, very positively oriented. You can build an agriculture drone. I'm gonna plug all kinds of stuff, right? Just because I gotta practice my thing. Right? So, like, you can build an agricultural drone that enhances the ecology, builds a little food forest, makes a little home gardening situation, starts to change culture. And you can say, why are they? Oh, they're using drones in war. Oh, but look, you can use drones for this. And oh, wait, why are we even in war when? Why could we have this massive destructive force when we could have an ecologically enhancing force? And right, we need you to actually step up and be your best and have those clean hands so that you can be a part of this huge change in the world that is possible. That really God's just like, oh, all right, finally, you know, I kind of just wash my hands of y'all. But look at that, because of a few noble souls, and don't get it twisted, like this whole situation is a holodeck training module for your soul. So just keep that in the back of your head as you proceed now after watching this, you know? And it has every realm of possibility, both positive and negative. It's all based on your actions. You really will choose your own adventure. And I do think it's unfortunate that no one ever told you before that brick by brick with excellent deeds, you can build yourself into an excellent situation, more excellent than you could even design yourself, because what happens along that journey is you get respect from above, which is the most important thing that we could be possibly living for.
When do
But
you
and I
think someone? When do you think somebody chooses their journey?
Well, and I want to say that I listened to your podcast before, to your very last one as well, a couple of them, but like the martyr and just your question, I really really actually appreciated your open-minded questioning and pursuit, and I think that's really the only honest position. None of us are really. Can you really entitle yourself to speak as an expert on any of these way beyond us situations? It's like right there, I'm kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Who do you really think you are? You know what I mean? And like, how much are you really learning in this fellow
Mhm.
journeyman, right? No. So I think I want to say that I don't want to come from that place at all as I answer that question for you the best that I can. I'm not an expert. I'm a fellow journeyman. But I do seem to have been able to catch the eyes of a lot of people as someone who's riding a different frequency groove of the record, is playing a little differently. And what I've found in my experience is that you will actually stick yourself exactly in a place that you believe in, that you decide to be once you finally decide to be, which can take place anywhere on your timeline. And evil beings can delay that for you. But honestly, you can still, if you have a positive polar human being who's giving you great advice and making you believe in yourself and say, look, the situation that you're in is actually not normal. It's actually way less than what you deserve. Yeah, that's going to be really helpful, and that's all I want to do. That's all the reason only here I'm here on the internet is like you actually can hopefully hear from this conversation that you deserve so much better. It's just about you believing that fact, right? So that's
Mhm.
kind of the question that you're asking, like, when does a person start their journey? As soon as they decide to. And there can be all kinds of involved factors, and you could be escaping that decision. So many people are escaping that decision. So many people will escape that decision all the way till the time they die and never make the decision to get on the journey. Most people will never make the decision to be on this believe in yourself journey. And unfortunately, most of those people will slowly drift, just as Napoleon Hill describes it, and outwitting the devil, which everyone should be have under their belt, right? Because we should be real old schoolers who kick down the real secrets so people can get ahead in life much quicker. All right, Napoleon Hill, outwitting the devil. And just like he says, so most of those people who never make the decision, you're doomed to drift into being some debaucherous thing you never wanted to be, you never thought you'd ever be, and you'll sit there and accept it. And if somebody tells you the hard truth of what you become, you'll sit there and deny it. And the things that you start doing in your life will be worse and worse and worse every day until the day you die. That's the most common story. That's the story that the
Mhm.
Matrix wants you to download. And they're winning probably at like some 95%, which makes it even cooler that guys like you and me are making the decision, that valiant, righteous decision to be something and believe in ourselves and believe in a higher potential.
I think once we come with the relationship to take full accountability of the outcome, that's when the journey begins.
Say that
Well,
one more
that's when
time.
your journey. It's like when you're when you take the responsibility of all the outcome, the accountability of every decision that you make. I think that's when the journey, your journey begins. Like when you're
I
ready
think
to
that's
take,
really
yeah, full responsibility, full accountability.
that's very true. That's very true. And I like that too, because that's a very because we're just looking at symptoms, right? We're looking at symptoms of a created core that you're going to create. You're going to
Mhm.
create your core.
Mhm.
And you may think, and because of the facets of this biological reality, that you could pull the wool over someone's eyes, but there's a very dynamic, real fingerprint of exactly who you are. And transparent beings who can see beyond just the lines in this physical biology, they can see you really instantaneously. And they
Yeah.
come in all kinds of levels of operation, but you have to, but most people physically shut it out within their own ecosystem somehow, within their own will. They shut that out. They say, no, that's not real.
Hmm. It's it's funny how we can look at the same thing but get different perspectives on it.
Oh, 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
A thief, a valiant dude, a liar, all those people are going to could have an exact same experience, and they will take away completely different things and notice completely different details about it, which brings us to why your intentions are everything. So if you have
Mm,
pure intentions, if you have
mhm.
pure desire, if you make this decision to go on this hero's journey or whatever you want to call it in a pure way, you know what I mean? Then the pure beings are going to recognize you. The pure experience are going to recognize you. The pure details, the pure symptoms are going to stand out to. But if you come at it with a very traversely, if you come at it with a very obtuse, ill-willed, evil scheming thing, then you will get all the supply you need from that experience in that modality. And no doubt about it, whatever you believe, so we're talking about two different things, right? You can believe in, you can't fly away and believe that this is not knockable, solid, whatever mouth sound you want to use. It doesn't really begin to describe the actual state. But let's just say we at right now, maybe at some point in our existence, we'll be able to just change this with our minds. But at this point, that's a little bit out there. You're floated off a little bit if you think you're just going to change that with your mind, right? So some of this, yes, but some of this, no. And it can be a confusing line for people who are not on the pure, clear eagle vision side of the spectrum. And they're over in the dusty, dark, evil side of the spectrum. So they got a lot of blinders on, right? You know, because they made that decision to go on that journey with bad intentions. It is what it is.
Yeah, they're not willing to. Again, they rather avoid the accountability, so
I
they're not going
agree.
to take part of it.
Yeah, and then and over there in that accountability avoiding place, it goes all the way down the tunnel, man. They will make up the most far-fetched stories and they will put it on everyone else, but they won't pass a lie detector test about it. But they'll put it on everyone else religiously, and if you corner them, you're like, tell me the truth. I know you're lying, and this didn't happen, and this did happen, and you're saying that it didn't, and this didn't happen, but you're saying that it did. I know. They will not tell you.
How did you grow up? Did you grow up religious?
Well, I I grew up in group homes in detention facilities, basically just juvenile jails, and but I would break out of them all the time. And then, so let me tell you, so this is really probably what set me on my path. And like I said, all everybody has an excuse to be completely evil. Me more than most. All right, and everybody has an excuse to be completely good. It's within you. It's in you, man. You can't blame, like you said, whether you don't want to be accountable or not, you're accountable. Period. You are. You're gonna live that out too in this life and in the next and in the next and in the, you know what I mean? You're gonna live that out. I think the decisions that people make in this life are way more detrimental important than they even begin to realize. That even any mouth sound or mouth sound, a paragraph of mouth sounds could ever not begin to describe. And so, and this is what I was saying about your intentions are so extremely important. And people that get far enough down that road where they're making up lies and they'll never admit to it, they're trapped and damned inside of their own like evil construct. And most of those people get like social working degrees and go try to help other. No, I'm just kidding. I went off on a tangent there at the very end. But what I was doing is bringing us back to the fact that I would break out, and then this escaped convict told me I'm running around the country. This hustle. That's a whole other story. But we're staying in hotel rooms. I'm 12. I got this idea that says I'm 16. I'm with this other dude who's like this glorious, huge, muscle bound, escaped convict, every kind of father I could ever wish for, figure type dude, right? And so for 13 months, we ran around and he's telling me about God and he's teaching me about angels and religion and all this stuff. And so in Birmingham, Alabama, and we were in a new city every 2 weeks for like 13 months. In Birmingham, Alabama, I go back and it's pouring down rain. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And man, I'm feeling the spirit. I'm learning about these new things, and some kind of like window opens, probably some angel sitting in the room or whatever is just like listening to this and watching this experience with this runaway kid, broke out of some juvie joint, was running bags of weed to this one place, you know what I mean? And it's just a crazy situation and turns into this lightning bolt of an adventure. And I go back and I jump on my knees in the pouring down rain. And I'm like, hey God, I want to be an archangel. And dude, I swear, telling you, something happened right there. Something happened right there. So this is really back to that first question you asked me too. Is like, and that's why I started telling you, I was locked up, some butterfly effect. No, this right here is the moment that I was getting at, and this is probably something happened, right? And so not only did I galvanize myself against what had trespassed against me, but I also had this lightning bolt polar experience. And then it's like, all right, well, if you're really worth your salt and you have an experience like that, you're a punk if you kind of go back on it. And then I fell in with these in Albuquerque, New Mexico, back in the 90s, man. I could have fell in with all kinds of people. I was connected. I was directly pipelined into the underworld by getting stuck in these juvie joints, right? The first time I'm out, 16, high school, I run into a guy that I'm locked up with after 2 months of A report cards. And then, bang, my dad's getting hauled into this place. He had signed me out. We reconnected. He's getting hauled in because jaws are broken and da 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 da. So, um, you know, uh, yeah. That's what happened. Some lightning bolt hit me, and I fell in, and angels have been provided. 1,000 angels I owe thanks to. Human ones have been inspired and provided. There's no way this stuff could have all happened. I have a real deal Pulp Fiction scene where someone was unloaded a whole clip. 10 people saw it. Glass was right here. The guy was 10 feet in front of me. Nothing hit me. It was crazy. I thought for sure, I got up and I was like, oh, I've definitely been shot. I just can't feel it. Like totally nothing. It's just absolutely impossible. And there's two other shooting stories like that. And I've been protected. I should, I have gone on a crazy 5-year investigation of near death experiences too, because of all these experiences. I've been touched by the other side and 5 other incidences it would take us to, but the path illuminates as you walk it. So I had that first experience, and then I'm like, oh, all right. Oh, wait a minute. Some really bad shit's about to go down. And I had this experience. I'm the one who's supposed to be the diplomat, the voice of intelligence here, and not have us all guilty of some shit that we're gonna hate our whole lives about. You know what I mean? So, I don't have anything coming after me, thank God, that knows what I did last summer or anything like that. But man, I do have friends that, you know what I mean? And I did live that life for a long time. And it's just, I'm just so thankful for that initial experience and everyone since. And I'm telling people if they do make the decision to join the God's army, they can contact me personally, no problem. BrandonAngelFitness.com and become a Spartan for real, a God's army captain. And that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I want to be. And I'll serve nature before I'll serve other humans in this too, just by the way.
Yeah, but see, that's why you are an example.
Well, man, I'm on a mission too. Like,
Yeah, of
I've seen
course.
the worst horrors. I've had the worst of horrors a part of my life in the last 15 years. I've got this spiritual combat going on in the background. It's way too hard to talk about it. I've successfully talked about it a few times. I don't know if we should get there just yet because we are having kind of a bright, shiny moment. I feel like right now. you know?
Whatever. It's
Yeah, yeah.
but okay. See, but okay, because mentioning everything you went through, that was there for you to witness, right? And survive it and tell it.
I think so. I think so. I think so. Yeah, it's happening for us, not to us.
Mhm.
Exactly what we need so that we can build the strengths. All these challenges are our video game bosses to beat to the next level, right?
So okay, I always like to go to the core of things, like your childhood. How was that? Like you
What
mentioned
was
your mom. Where's your
Yeah, I
dad?
was just telling you. No, so my mother's like the most evil demon narcissist. She's made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of fake car accidents.
Mm.
My dad is a saint. A lie will not come out of his mouth. Versus my mother, if her mouth is open, nothing but lies is coming out of that thing. She loves drama and deception on the TV. She's she locked me up and all those places basically just so she could take pills and watch TV and tell everybody she was a recovered alcoholic and a golden convert and wolf in sheep's clothing. And then um, takes part in abusing her grandchildren. And she's a maniacal human being. You seen there's a Dr. Phil where they got this grandmother on there that invented these lies about this little baby's father. And he lie detector tests with this FBI, CIA lie detector specialist who comes out and says, this lady is definitely lying. Like she's got deceptive all over this thing. Like she's not just failed the test, but extremely failed the test. And she knows that these people who live till their deathbed with some total evil scheme, abuse that they've committed or whatever, and they're trapped in that because it's so. Let me just say this real quick too. It's so easy. You face it up. You say sorry to the people you have to say sorry to. You go do what you've got to do to make it right. I mean, definitely grab the shovel. Don't just fucking do more mouth service, because that's all they do. You know, not one of these people is coming right out and saying, "Hey, you can't trust me as far as you could throw that hotel." They're not saying that. They're never going to admit to this. But if they did, then they could start the repentance process. And maybe it is heavy. Maybe they should pay justice. Maybe they should go to a monastery. Maybe they should go whatever.
Accountability.
But if that, huh?
Accountability.
Accountability. You said it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
But with your father, he was there, but
Yeah, my father, he's an abuse victim too. Like his parents were super hyper. Well, okay, so my father's a funny story. You'll never believe this, man. Um, but I've told this, and my mother will lie till this day, even though there's DNA evidence.
mm,
But my mother, actually, my biological father is my father's brother. Yeah, but my father had money and my father's brother didn't have money at that time. So she misled my father into thinking that he was my father, and he's been my father. I slept on his chest as a child. He actually paid for me to play the sport of hockey, which is very expensive up until I was 8 or 9. But what happened is, when he finally got the balls to get a divorce from my mother, the whole family broke up. She started locking. She took him to the cleaners, filled 3 storage units, took him to the cleaners for like 100 and something K, and then started locking me up to get another see what happens is if you get your kid incarcerated in a mental hospital, then you get a beneficiaries check from the Social Security Department off his head. And so all these Native Americans had figured this out and all these places had opened. And I mean, dude, they had demons owning them and running them and coming in and running therapist groups when they weren't even licensed therapists, just jerking themselves off in front of a bunch of kids with total toxicity and telling them who's the boss and all this shit. It was just ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, and they were making millions of dollars off all these kids that are, but most of them still incarcerated today, um, or dead and died in the place. Have been exposed to extreme violence. Have been turned into insane monsters. So like, I don't have the worst of this, you know, at all, at all, at all. But uh, but yeah, from like 10 to 17, somewhere, all I was in and out of these places. But my name was Houdini back then. You know, I would get rolled called as Houdini because this is, and my response was like, yeah, today, motherfucker, today I'm here. You know, we'll see. You know, but but yeah, it was just this nightmare situation, and it was just all for little kicks, just so this lady could get a check, an extra check. She was already getting all these other checks she didn't deserve, and and not have to do her job, and nobody would find out about what she was doing. But she'll still lie about that, and she'll still lie about who my father is and all that, you know. And she's gold digging some unsuspecting dude, and I don't know how you're not like, fuck, where are all the people from your past? But there's plenty of these witches out there in the world, and again, I'm not from the worst of them. I know of worse of them, and um all challenges, opportunities build strength, right? If you make that right
Right.
decision, if you make that right decision. And again, the path that you start to choose, man, will that pave itself for you. So if you start to choose that bad one and you start slipping off the hill and you're going down and you're doing shit that you're not supposed to do, but stop yourself right now, because just wait. You're gonna be someone you never thought you were gonna be, you know. And and you,
Yeah.
if you have become, yeah,
But it takes two with everything, right? If I see a person that's evil, quote unquote, that I know they're up to no good, you just feel their energy, right? I'm gonna stay away from them. Like your father or your uncle, whomever, it's not just your mom, you know, they're part too.
yeah. Well, my father apologizes to me left and right now for that. He
Mhm.
understands that, and he takes your accountability very seriously. And I'm really proud of him, and I really respect
Mhm.
him. And I know that above respects him, even though he doesn't believe in above. Um, but you know, and that's part of the decision. Just thinking, you know, it's, are you stepped on and you're gonna turn around and step on others? Are you stepped on and you're gonna just live, you know, very isolated and not participate in the benefit of others? Or are you going to get stepped on and you're going to turn around and be like, that's not me, I'm doing this, and do great benefit for others? You're absolutely right. It's, you can choose such an incredible spectrum of what you want to be accountable for and how you want to deal with stuff and what types of incredible person you want to be. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. You know,
Okay.
or you
You
could
said
just
that,
say screw it. I don't even,
yeah. It's you take the challenge on or you
which is
don't.
lack of gratitude. Yeah, which is lack of gratitude if you say screw it, because, oh, I've been given this beautiful blessing of a
Right.
life. Look how I'm going to use it. I'm going to just go get wasted.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned a few times above. I keep saying
Yeah,
within. I keep saying within now.
I, I wanted to get to that. I wanted to get to that. All right. So again, what's real? It's real whether to a certain amount of this is real, whether we believe in it or we don't. A certain amount of what is, and you can believe in it and have contusions and blockers and extra vision or whatever inside. What really is, like, some of it's not as arguable as we'd like it to be, right? And
Right.
now, that being said, I'm not an expert in what is and what isn't at all. And fellow journeyman. But what I'm starting to see, what I've learned in my experience is, dude, if you call above, you might get an answer. You know what I mean? And here's another one of these things. If you decide to make the break when everyone's zigging, you're zagging. If you decide to make the break and be an experimentalist, which is the only way to find out for yourself, and stop thinking that you know everything, or that It's got to be, just try every way. How about that? Can't argue with that, right? Man, if you call to above, you might get an answer. I would like to do another podcast with you down the line and see if you do the experiment and see if you get an answer, because you won't know unless you try. And I think that a certain amount of it is within. A lot of it is within. Definitely the decision making we just went over, the decision making that's the real cross people need to pay attention to, is the crossroads every day in life, 5 times a day in life. You know what I mean? Is the crossover, which is the sum of all your crossroads every moment in life. And every moment in life, you're posed a test. And this is a gratitude test. And all challenges are opportunities to build strength. And we've heard it put in different ways. Oh, you see an easy road, you see a hard road, pick the hard road. You see, right? All that kind of stuff. That's not exactly what nature does every time. It's not what nature does every time. But that's your iron will opportunity as a human being every time. So there's a lot of blurry lines in here or whatever, and it's a definite journey to figure out. And what I have to add to this is pure intentions and try the call to above. But make the hold the line, make the cut, and then try to get above. Be for real on this positive polar thing. And then just be like, look, I'm not just mouth servicing you. I talked to a real dude. He told me some real shit. Now I went about this the real way. Now give me a real answer. Like I want to do a podcast with you, bro. And again, you know what I mean? For sure. For several, hopefully. I can already tell. Because you know what, man? I'm not just doing podcasts right now. I'm building a spear tip. You know what I mean? You guys are excellent. See, I see deeper layers to this thing because I decided. Because I decided and I took the steps and I grabbed the shovel and I put some work in and I got some feedback, really, and so and now I'm like, oh shit, I understand more, I see it further, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I communicated to above, and I did get a response, and that's the truth. And I don't fucking lie, dude, because that shit's gonna muddy up my whole thing, right? And I can't be coming at this mission with dirt on my hands, just like you said earlier, unaccountable. I have to be very accountable, and I'm going to be very accountable, but I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm your fellow journeyman. I just did a little bit more push-ups, so I'm hitting the bag a little bit harder. That's that. And I'm not going to exalt myself to some sort of position and talk to you like I'm better, because I'm not. You could just be just as much of a thing. And I'm going to build this spirit tip like that. And it's going to be a council of an organization, a torch passing, and a mutual respect of many important people who have already decided to be beautiful. Maybe that's too much theatrics. See, I'm new at this, but I'm going to do the reps, man. And then they're going to be beautiful. But yeah.
What? No, you're like a pro. You're an expert.
Yeah, so listen, I'm
There you
totally
go.
1000%. Yeah, yeah. Let's do this right. Every step of the way. Crossroad, crossroad, crossroad. And I am trying to literally from living in the jungle with a large beard, we're going light years ahead now. uh, Beard, dirty, skin parasite, all that I still am struggling with. You should see. I won't show you my ass, but you know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm still in the jungle heavily. I got five farming sites that I'm religiously involved with, and saints of indigenous people from the Amazon who think I'm their bridge to an audience much more than they've ever been able to have before. But they have the answer, dude. It's insane. We have the ecological answers right now, complete ecological process that goes past what Rudolf Steiner had in biodynamic agriculture. I'm throwing people shit to look up. Go look it up. Go look it up, right? And I had so and this is the biological revolution, which is the only revolution. No, excuse me, which is the tip. I said that wrong. Which is the spear's tip of all the revolution. It actually really is. right? And we could be living in an Avatar movie, Wonderland paradise with luminescent plants and everything we have. We're right there, right? We just need
Mm.
us good souls to help market this thing, this baby from the jungle that was just covered in dirt a minute ago. It doesn't know the world, come into the world, build ecological drones, build ecological super culture, build this new reunification, but this new relationship between humanity and nature, which is going to be nuclear, which is going to change everything. Which you're not going to listen to the lying bozo who's not accountable and is self-prophesying himself to leverage entire nations into fucking their children into wars on lies, right? There's all kinds of degrees of my mom, of these people, of our fucked up parents. You know, we've all got them. We're all in this freaking liar slave bullshit, freaking media owned, propagandized television being told what, and then and it's horrible. And all we got to do is just step out of that and have this natural functioning relationship of abundance with nature, right? Because
Mhm.
nature's got all the answers. You can just stand out there like Marcus Aurelius did when he wrote Meditations. There's another one, get that, you know, but go to nature, do the vision quest, purify yourself and your intentions. You know what I mean? Start stepping up to bigger plates as a ninja and in the community, right? And then everything above is going to be like not just listening to your mouth service, but they're going to be like, holy shit, look at this dude. And then a few other human beings will too. But then they're going to, I'm telling you, man, you know, diamonds under pressure, bro. I am under so much pressure from all sides right now, and beautiful pressure, both in challenge and in forward motion and in steps and ideas. It's like this crystalline Dr. Masuro Emoto water picture in 3D. That's another, right? Because everything's dynamically represented in all kinds of badass ways, whether it's the mouth sound of accountability or, you know, whatever you can rise your own spirit to be able to plug into.
I think there's got to be a checklist, right, of the steps we have to go through to get to a certain
That's a
spirituality
really
level.
good point. That's a really good point.
Like walking in
And
nature. Like I grew up in Mexico, was dirt, poor. I used to make the puddle of a hole into a pool. I used to jump in. I was the happiest as a kid. I took shits in the forest. Like
Hua,
that's
you played
when
with
it was
lizards.
my
You
huh?
built empathy. See, I'm learning about you because you're an angelic spirit. I have heard all the stories. I talk to the right people. I see that you're a spirit tip component. That's why I went to the gym before I did this. I meditated before I did this. I put time into this. I cared. I fasted. You know what I mean? I watched your podcast last night. You're an empathetic person, and now I'm finding out one symptom of that is that you were in nature. That's a huge symptom too, because you played with lizards and you cared and you were empathetic and you were out there and you were one with nature. That's huge, man. So many poor kids don't even have that.
Yeah, I
So what else?
appreciated nature. Um, what else? You said something. Oh, have you heard of I was watching your video, P theory.
You mean the PFE?
No, well, there's a P theory thing. Like you drink your own pee.
Oh no, no, I don't.
No,
No.
not. I'm saying
Uh,
there's people.
no, yeah. Well, okay. So me and an experienced trekker, we went, and at that time he was much more experienced than me. And we went on this Inca trail. That it was for sure an unexplored Inca trail because you can tell there's certain species that come in after there's already been a trail there, and these species were so large that this trail was definitely a trail and it hadn't been discovered before. So what's at the end of it, right, or whatever. So me and this angel dude start following this trail, machete style. You know what I mean? And I mean, when you're going through the big stuff, you got to stop and sharpen your machete every 15 feet, right? And so we're blazing through, you're talking shit and all this stuff. And we're miles from the rivers, man. We're way deep into this jungle, just a straight shot, right? And you make a decision out there whether you're gonna start drinking your piss and looking around for a water source in some alternative way. We did a few different alternative water sourcings out there, and drinking the piss was one of them. But and you know what? There's probably so urea. Just because I'm an organic chemist and an amateur organic chemist, I know that there's horse urine is where they get most urea from because it's the most potent. And but there's chemicals in urine that are healing. There's a proverb in Proverbs. It says, "Drink from thine own cistern." And there's several different parasitic conditions that can be completely alleviated by drinking your own urine. And there's also a bot fly and papillomoya, this parasite that's on my face and stuff. Urine can sort of do some damage here, but it completely kills the bot fly, and you can't even find that on the internet until now. No, I mean, you can't even look at. But one night I had 16 of them going on my neck, and we were out there. I was out there, and I just pissed in a shirt. I was by myself at that time, and I just pissed in a shirt and tied it around my neck to see what would happen. They all just fell out, soft worms the next day. So, and it
Nice.
most effective. All the Costa Ricans and Colombians, and they all have different recipes in each country. It's so funny, but nobody had that one, but it worked.
No, because I've heard that mentioned that, and then I was listening to Sam Tripoli, and they were
Okay.
talking about P theory. I go, boy, there's a thing.
I haven't even heard it put that way. I remember there
No.
people were calling it urine therapy or something.
Oh, is it therapy with something like that? But I'm like, wait, because I pick up on signals, right? That the universe is sending me or whatever. And then you said it, and then like, wait, I'm listening to this episode. I didn't know it was about this, and then they were just talking about drinking their own piss.
Yeah, there's quite a few biological operations that are quite powerful and hard to stomach. I wouldn't say that like they're needed all the time, but veterinarians even, let's just say a dog eats a bottle of Tylenol or something and shots out its whole microbiome layer out of its stomach and is dying and can't digest food. Humans do themselves. I forget the name of the mouth sound that someone made up for the human condition of this, but um, it happens a lot. It happens a lot with guys, and then they can't process their food. And a veterinarian will make something called poo tea, where he'll take the the feces of another animal and make a tea out of it, and then have this horse or this dog or this human. I mean, it'll work for whoever. And those new, I forget what the particle is called. It's basically like a ketone, like a yeah, it's like an inoculant for a new microbiome to grow from, and so
Everything's
uh,
nature.
yeah, it's
It's
nature.
natural.
Yeah, once you start to look at biology and the way that it goes and comes together, um, and you're able to get through all that, you know, the crying kids and the working and the sounds of nature, dude, and out in the middle of the nature, it can get so quiet and it can get so loud. It's freaking believable, dude. The city does not contest to like the sound power of the wilderness where we're really supposed to be living into. You know what I mean? So, um, anyway, it's like it's funny when people always need a perfect environment to do their job. That will be the most unsuccessful person ever. You need to be able to work no matter what is being thrown at you. Keep your laser focus, keep dialed in. And I know we're going across the spectrum, but I just want this to be as valuable of a media piece, of an informational gemstone
You're full of information.
Well, man, I'm obsessed with nature, dude. I love it out there, and there's a whole bunch of people that still live out in nature and they have no desire to come back and talk to humanity, and I wouldn't either, actually. I am only back at the swinging plate because I'm looking at a child abuse situation where somebody has been so insanely brainwashed and abused and taken into the false reality, all these things that someone just invented to keep them captive in their short-term situation of codependent weakness, you know what I mean, and survivability from adult to child. And it's just such a horrible thing to see. And it's just like, I can't be this guy that's been bestowed all these insane blessings and just leave this kid in the situation. I would have never that, of a total kidnapping, total fucking kidnapping from one side of the family. And the people watch the Sons of Anarchy show religiously right as they did it. And we're obsessed with all the characters. Just like my
Wait.
mom. No, it's
What?
crazy, dude. It's just a crazy. I only watched the show because I saw that how obsessed they were with it, and then you're watching, and you're just like, oh my god, you guys are doing what you're seeing on the TV, and you're
Mm,
saying that you're a child protector, just like these other crazy
mm,
people.
I see. Yeah. Wait, do you have kids?
Yeah, so I have a 22-year-old daughter, and when she was 10, she couldn't stop saying my daddy this and my daddy that, and she had been kidnapped by a crazy mother 3 times. One of them I was deployed in the United States military at war, and then my so there's a piece of literature, this word, this mouth sound that doesn't begin to describe anything, like any mouse sound doesn't, has been butchered. But there's a piece of literature written by a genius. It's a 15-minute web read. I'm always telling people about this because it's one of the most important little 15 web reads of any life. Every 14-year-old should be well familiar with this. It could save them and make them high-class operators. And exactly what you were just saying before, accountable in that way that, hey, I have my decisions. I can detect this toxic person. That's what she said, right? So to really enable a person to be a real soldier for God, just like you, and detect these people, read this anti-narcissism.org by Tia Karlberg. There's another presentation called The Psychopaths versus the Rest of Us. And this captures what I'm talking about in the family microscopic unit all the way to what we're experiencing in the world matrix, right? The world matrix, right? Tricks, they're trick. We say it right to you, you know. And it's like law, universal law of polarity and balance. There's 11 universal laws. You need to read those too. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
think people are getting it.
those characters, like the psychopaths, like
Mhm.
you know, those people are needed, right?
I don't think so, actually. I think, in fact,
Really?
yeah, well, let's just say they're needed for the test of right
Hmm.
now, because without them, nature does not provide a highly deceptive, highly control freak, toxic person worse than a toxic substance challenge for us to overcome and get our wings in stage 2, right? It doesn't. You need these negative people, you're right, to overcome extreme trauma, to prove yourself to above by overcoming them. And they actually do donate their souls away to hellish shit so that we have something to become valiant off of. So thank you. Not only do I forgive you, but I thank you. I feel sorry for you. You know what I mean? I'm a winner and I just want to see people win. I don't want to see anyone lose. I don't want to see you become this disgusting child, lie to your child every day of your and everyone that you know, and to maintain that situation and then continue it, even though I've said the truth 1,000 times, you have to keep telling the lie. I kind of do know that I'm karmically damning your soul even worse. You know what I mean? And but it's still out of love. Like, dude, tell the truth. Just turn around and tell the truth. Tell the truth to her. Tell sorrow to above, and take the steps of repentance. Go ahead. That would be the best decision from you way back then. Right now, 10 years from now, right before you cross over on your deathbed, we'll see where it happens, if it does at all. Most people on this planet will live that exact existence all the way to the end and just go out like that because the Matrix did such a good job. So they're back to the question, do we need them? Well, yes, for the tests, but now me and you, we're so ahead of the game. We're talking about the conquerorship of the test, right?
Mhm.
We're talking about operating in that folder. We've passed the test now. It's time for us to help everyone else through. So yeah, back here in the test, for some people, yes. For me and you and our job, actually, I would say 1,000% no. In fact, everybody at this sphere tip needs to be just as good as you at discerning between who's right and who's real and who's not, because the spirit ship I'm trying to build, and I'm not saying that I'm the captain of the revolution, but as a captain of the revolution, there can be none of those people.
Right. Don't keep those people.
I'm not moving with anyone like that. And the minute you showed me your colors, you're out. And everyone who can hold the line, thank you. Thank you, God, for this person.
What do you think of death?
I don't know who that is. Oh, death. Yeah. I don't know who that is. I really don't. No, yeah. So I was thinking about your title too. Yeah, that's the main cross people need to be paying attention to. And that cross is the sum of every crossroads in your life. And it's at one of those crossroads where most people will fall off forever. And it's at those crossroads where you have the potential to be like nobody else. This is a very solo vision quest journey. And not when you meet other people on this, and I'm afraid to give unearned wisdoms here. I might be running into bad territory. It's too deep of a thing. But you'll meet other diamonds who have left the pack and run on their own and flap their own wings and fly high like an eagle, not connected to another eagle, and run fast like a cheetah, not connected to another cheetah. You know what I mean? And they've been doing that for a minute. And out on that path that illuminates as you walk it, as you actually walk it, then you will get access to a community like you, and they will actually respect you when you get there. You won't be the one who's getting recognized and weeded out, right? And then uh yeah, dude, this is totally like a Matrix and Neo and Morpheus situation all the way. That movie is so ridiculously accurate. And we all need to form as more committed splinter cells that care more about all these things we've talked about in this situation, in this conversation.
So I've been thinking of that. If like the Avatar movie and the Matrix, you have to be in a sleep state, right? In a different realm to be in the Matrix, like we are now, right?
Mm, I think you can maybe, yeah, I think it's all of that. And you can have one foot in and one foot in one side and one foot in another. And you may be able to have a foot in a couple of other places too. It's 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 about taking on those bigger challenges. Now you got to get to a point where you're actually putting challenge on yourself, and you're looking for ridiculously large challenge in the world, and you're attacking it with completely pure intentions, and you don't need anything out of it. You're not doing this to get anything for you. You're just doing this to serve, right? This purpose. You're doing this to be a valiant knight that slays the dragon and protects the community. That's it. you're not, and you don't want fame, and you are going to go way out into the jungle and never be heard from again by these people, right? You know what I mean? And that's it.
Right.
And you should have that already in your head, way from start to finish. And as you take on challenges in that particular way, because the how is the who, how you do it is who you are. And so, if you to do it way, in that way, oh man, there's only a five of, there may only be 50 people that can even have that conversation with you in your entire life experience.
Yeah, it's lonely. So right, sometimes.
I mean, but then, dude, look at the life you just lived. Even if you didn't stack up, no, okay, let me tell you this too. You may not stack up a ton of money here, or you might not stack up in one video game statistic and create this massive hole in another video game statistic, right? You young bucks, and you might not have this way out of balance thing, but you'll see guys who are like living on a lightning rod, and there's no way. You're like, how is he doing it? That's the question. You're just, how is he? No, I know this dude came from a box.
Can I take you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
thank
problem. I was like, how can you how is this guy doing this? How is this girl doing this? That's another thing in there is something calling you
Mm.
to talk to that person and make a connection there. It's like, and I really want to say this, like, and yeah, your intentions have to be pure, and you have to do what you said. You have to evaluate that they are pure over time and evidence and testing.
Mhm.
And then you're going to have a lightning rod of a life, and don't sweat it if you didn't stack up one video game statistic all the way out of balance and create a one video game deficit all crazy out of balance, because if you stack the
Mhm.
money up too high, then what happens is you lose the ability to detect who's fake and real, which is, like you just said, the honesty. And there's people who do it, who are smart enough to only keep guys who have been riding with them their entire life around, or really heavily extremely well tested other guys. Those are the ones with longevity. And I think that those are the ones that will see the most vibrant life, and they'll cross over just fine.
You travel a lot, do you?
I do, man. I'm in a new place almost every 2 or 3 weeks. And that's exactly what I'm telling you about right now, bro. I don't know how I'm doing it. Look at this Miami style place. Dude, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
my friend in Miami, he lives on like 35K a month, he told me. And he was just, we're talking, and he's just like, bro, you got my life. You got my life. Like, my life isn't in any way that much better than what you've got, and now I'm in Brazil, and I just saw the boys in the Netherlands. That's why I'm on this podcast right now. You know what I'm saying? Because they told me about you. And um and uh and I was just all over Europe, and before that I was in Colombia, and before that Panama, and before that Costa Rica. And dude, it's just like 2 weeks. The most I'm ever in a place is like a month. And I was in San Martin Island after the Netherlands and before here in the Caribbean. And I'm actually just starting to do what we were just talking about. Like, I'm seeing the most beautiful, bright, shining people in my course, intention, path, destiny is journey is the destination, my destiny, my mission to serve this. And okay, so let me just roll right into this drone agriculture thing. So the freaks, the control freaks, and you can kill them and not go to jail in video game land at voodoobreaker.com. Right? We're coming at this from every level. So there's the video game, and that's going to be a thing, man. We're going to make a real video game that parents can actually recommend, that bestows old school wisdoms instead of just slapping hookers and throwing dudes out of their cars or whatever it is now. You know what I mean? It will actually, you can go the other way in the game. And it kind of pushes you in the other way, but there's still lots of blood, right? So it's still cool, you know, it's still his home for the street kids. But yeah, and but so the control freaks are using these drones for war. If you look at the technology, man, this is a serious situation. And they can run an AI process. The revolution can do the same thing, an ecologically enhancing drone called Volt Air. All right. And you know, my favorite quote from the old Voltaire is, "We are guilty of the good that we do not do." Now, here's some good that now that I've told you, now that anyone has watched this, they have to be a part of it. They're worth their salt and they've been blessed in any way. Now we're going to build an ecological drone, and that ecological drone is going to go service permacultures. It's going to run off a hydro, sustainable hydro. That means one river inlet that doesn't affect nature whatsoever, produces low voltage to just power one drone that goes around and enhances the ecology. I'm coming to you from right on the edge of the Amazon jungle. I just came to the beach for a minute to do this awesome podcast with my man in a beautiful place, but I'm in the Amazon, all right? And I do this work every day for the last 15 years with the most incredible top team, spirit tipping people also for the last, and I'm telling you, like, how these people have been placed in my life all by itself is like, get to work. You know what I mean? It's just like you're not, now you're on this path that doesn't just come with accountability. It comes with massive responsibility. You have to, and it's just like some people can't see any signs, bro. All the signs, arms from heaven are reaching and pushing me and slapping me and equipping me. And dude, I have to do this job somehow. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have to do this job somehow. I have the dreams, all the mechanics flying at me from wherever. And so what we're gonna do is build this ecological drone system, and it can be defensive at some point, but it can, let's just, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but just so people can imagine it, talk about slave plantations times 10,000. This is a nuclear recipe for ecological advancement the right way in big time, and we can do it on ley lines, and I know all of it, like I said, way past Rudolf Steiner's biodynamic agriculture. And we can totally be living in a whole new world with a whole new culture and whole new spectrum of possibilities and potential. And I just think, and I honestly see the technological creation, not just as a technological necessity is inside of this technological slave frame we're going to be in here in a minute, you know. And you know, if you've done enough jujitsu out there, you don't just relax as this triangle choke is coming on, you know. And this is why physical fitness is a necessity for everybody who's watching this now too. We got to really become our best in every single way so that we can take on this hardcore job, and we have natural physical reference in our mind inside this natural physical reality so that we can pull levers more smarter and quicker, and you know, our chest level is way higher, right? And as Einstein says, pay attention to nature, you'll understand everything better. So as you said earlier, we need steps. Step one, get into nature all the time. This needs to be like daily hours, whether it's 1 or 5, the more, the better. I get up, I actually do this. I go to bed at 7:30 at night. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I go out to nature as the sun is coming up. I say my thanks. I do a personal inventory. So I'm not one of these narcissistic control freak people who doesn't live by the golden rule. I live by the golden rule. I live by the diamond, clear, pure intention rule. And then I take on these huge challenges. So go to nature, press yourself and challenge yourself in every way. Smile at big challenges. Take on big challenges. Look for bigger challenges. Start putting the weight on once you've got the gym down, right? Start putting the weight on. Start really becoming a superhuman, a superhero, and really start addressing some of these bigger problems in life, or get behind someone else who's addressing some of these bigger problems in life the realest way ever. This is how. And
Brandon, you're amazing.
hey, man, look, I'm going to try to do this. And even if I don't win, I'm going to have lived my life pointed at some of the most heroic, valiant, awesome, world changing stuff. And I'll be happy when my fatigued head hits the pillow because I'm going to work hard. And I'm hoping that other people will work hard and get behind me. And we've already got 5 ecological sites. All right. I'm growing some of the most diverse nature, and those 5 sites, it's incredible. I can take you to them. Anyone can come down at any time. I'll meet you over there. You can eat the nutritional diversity diet, nutritionaldiversity.com. Okay. And you can get, and you will feel superhuman, and you will start to see clearly, so clearly, you won't question whether your intention should be pure as much as you do today. Drinking the city water and the monoculture food and all of that. It all makes a difference. All other stuff makes a difference, right? So I'm highly, what you're noticing about me is also I'm highly tuned in on the physical fitness. I'm highly tuned in on the nutritional diversity diet. I'm highly tuned in on making sure I get clean water, a water diversity from the best sources that I can, super herbs and super plants that God gave me and I super appreciate, and doing good deeds. That's really that that whole step in there too is your spirit muscle is your most important muscle, and it translates through. It translates through. The steroid guys, I will never take a chemical. I don't even take Tylenol. But the steroid guys will tell you, man, there's some of them that I smoke in the gym. There's some of them that I'm just right behind them because, but their endocrine system's dead. They're married to that needle. Oh, I don't know why I started talking about fitness.
No, that's who you are. Um,
Well,
we,
what I was trying to say is I can rival hormone gym hormone production, gym performance of the best of the guys who are cheating, of the what I mean, guys who are injecting horse testosterone, and it's really because of my spiritual muscle. I could throw just a fun fact at you, and I recorded my dad in 3 different countries telling about this. I prayed. Me and my dad got split up by this whole thing I was telling you, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't see him. I think the last time he saw me was on a program called Crime Stoppers on the television. Um, and then we didn't see each other until I was coming back from deployment in the military. And coming back from that deployment, I was like, man, I just got accommodated by a strike group admiral, and I'm coming back and I'm thinking in my dress uniform, I'm just like, man, now I could meet my dad and he would be proud of me. Right. So I prayed, and I was just like, man, I really want to meet my dad. 2 weeks later, I go on Liberty in DC. My dad, last I knew, was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're both from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right. I'm getting on a plane in Washington, DC. I'm stationed in Norfolk. Some guy sneezes. True story, dude. A mathematician says that there's no chance at all that this could happen, right? Sneezes. I look to say, bless you,
wow.
and it's him, and it's him. So this is a spiritual track I've actually really been on that you can kind of not talk to anybody. I interviewed a guy who has a security clearance for his job. He doesn't lie ever. He's never lied to me anyway. He's never lied around me. He's very, very precise and accurate and conscientious about the way he conducts himself. And he recorded himself 3 different times in 3 different countries explaining that this is a true story. And yeah, that's one of like 7 things that have happened just like that.
Mhm.
And it's all and it's all because I've been living with these pure intentions and doing these things and getting respect from above. So those connections, when they make it from above, that's because they respect you, or they're not making them. And the drug addict on the street and the guy, the lady who beats her kids with the extension cord, and is continuously miserable and never gets ahead, and has been and is a waitress up until she's 45, or worse, or even worse than physical abuse, psychological and mental and spiritual emotional abuse, where they're lying to this kid and trapping him and pulling the rug out from under him, and you can't tell because an appendage isn't violating you in any way. It's a spiritual appendage that is violating, but you can't see it, and you just never know, and you have this smart syndrome or something like that. The reason those people never get ahead is because they never get respect from above.
Hmm. I like spiritual muscle. I like that.
And you might have respect for above. In fact, I'd gather to say that you have respect for above that doesn't care, that you're just a little bit confused about everything being from the inside. No, but you might not be. I don't know. I'm your fellow journeyman, but I really appreciate the constructive, theoretical conversation.
What led me to questioning the above thing, because everyone just points, oh, God above. I'm like, wait, what do you guys? It becomes tradition, right? It's just something people do. They don't even know what they're saying. So I'm trying to tell people, look, you are God. Everything's about you. You take accountability of your actions, right? Because everybody wants to point a different direction. It's not me. It's someone
I
else.
like it, man. Thank you
So
for
that's what I.
explaining that.
Yeah,
Now
that's what I'm saying.
you explain that, yeah, thank you for explaining that. And that's true. And that's true. That also is true. They're both, I think they're both true. I think there's a physical above, and I think most of this stuff that we're talking about when we make the above mouth sound is within, just like you said. And I think that in order to access either of those realities, it is exactly what you just said. You have to take accountability. You have to man up to who you really are, and you have to decide to be extremely good for the
I
above
agree.
part. For the above part. For the above part.
Yeah, no, it's kind
It's
of
all
like people.
within still.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when people are arguing about the shape of the Earth. Why can't it be both? Why choose?
Well, okay. Here's a discernment thing that we can say. What I agree, and what here's another thing is like, let's discern between toxic conversation and productive conversation. And when I
Yeah,
say toxic, it's not that toxic, but we don't have any levers there, so it's not productive. You know what I mean? It's not
hmm
productive because there's nothing for us to do inside of that idea, and so that's not where we're supposed to be. And as long as we sit there and do this back and forth speculative, um semantic back and forth thing, you know what I mean? All we're
yes,
really doing is circle jerking on our own egos, wanting to hear our voice and sound right. Actually, that's all you're doing. And while you're doing that, you're neglecting to do whatever you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I
Because
think,
even
and
even now I see it. The debating, it's not even about who's right. It's the behavior that's exposed. It's how people handle themselves in a conversation. I think that to me, that's the knowledge, the truth. It's
well,
who you are.
you might benefit as a person, as a journeyman, because you'll learn more if you know less, right? And so all my positions are open. Ready for new information. I don't know really anything at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be a person who knows stuff because those person are irritating already. And at this little level in the journey, and at this level in the journey, we don't need those people. We don't need them. You know what I mean? And so
hmm
we're all learning, and we're all open, and we're all advanced enough to where we're presenting ourselves the way I'm presenting myself right now. And the other part of that is, yeah, so we want to be able to discern between those people too. And we also want to be able to discern between the situations where we have levers to pull. And if there's no levers to pull, you're supposed to be in another situation right now.
Hmm. That's what my thing
And
is. I'm
you're
gonna,
neglecting.
yes, distraction, yes.
Uh-huh.
So this is what I approach everything, anyone. I'm gonna create a platform you can self-discover or self-destruct. You choose.
That's
You could
good wording.
either, yeah. So you
Yeah. And
go
it's
ahead, show me.
and that's actually in basic terms what we were just saying. You're either right or you're learning. You're either right or you're learning because you can't be both. And you'll notice if I'm trying to be right now, I am not learning. I'm trying to be
Mm.
right. So I'm either,
Mm.
so which is it? You know what I mean? Am I self-destructive or am I
Self-discover.
self-discovered? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Wait, what time is it?
Yeah, dude, this was a I like those heavy caliber shots, man. Boom, just knock it all down. You know? Why are we gonna sit here and tiptoe around this thing? Let's all back ah. My past self was not good. He's gone. But I did it right, you know. Like those high caliber bullets are accountability, people. You know, it's in saying you're sorry and fixing whatever you did wrong. If you're going on the right road, if that's your decision, and you got to do the right stuff to be on that, you know. But yeah,
Yeah, it
no, man, I think this was actually came out beautifully. What do you think?
was perfect.
Yeah. Dude, it
It
had
was,
so many noise and chops in the video. A person who's not ready for it would jump right off.
man, sorry about this, the technical difficulties earlier, the stupid platform. Fuck.
Well, man, that I
So,
find too, the higher the road that you're on, the stronger the wind velocity. No doubt about it. You know what I mean? You're going to have some trunk on you to take on the real valiant parts of the journey. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that's why at every opportunity, build strength.
mhm. Yeah,
Do the
because we're
right thing.
learning.
Yeah, because we're learning exactly. Build strength, do the right thing, tell the truth about it.
Mm.
We're learning. I am not all knowledgeable. You know, I'm not some clown that knows everything that should be talking down to anyone. You know,
Man.
I particularly my experience doesn't have astral projection in it. Someone else's experience may. Tell the truth, man. If you don't tell the truth, I will sniff it out over time. You don't want to hang out on my spirit tip because when I do, just that you had the gall to hang out on my spirit tip with deception in your heart, dude, you will pay for that. Period.
Brandon, come to
That
LA.
wasn't to you. That was, huh?
I know. Come to LA.
When am I coming to LA? I'm actually
Yeah.
I'm an honorably served veteran, dude, that was accommodated lefty five. I trained 10,000 people my last 2 years as the LPO lead instructor in a damage control training house in Newport News, Virginia. The USS Carl Vinson CVN 70 and the new class of carrier, the USS George Bush. So I trained 10,000 guys as a trainer, as an instructor, as this man who was officially in a position to talk down to people. No, I'm just playing. Right. And and they all love me and they know that I was the best part of their whole 9-week index doc session, right? And
Of
all the
course.
guys who all the guys who worked for me, I promise you, they'll tell you, man, working for Brandon was the coolest, most chill. He respected all of us the most of anyone I've ever worked for in the military. They will say that. That's true. And but yeah, so I just want to say that oh, how did I get onto this?
I said, come to LA.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is what I was gonna tell you. So I'm an honor reserves vet. Was in protest of the United States. I will not step foot back into the United States until they stop abusing over 22 million children and fathers in this non-constitutional butcher of families called family court, where there's no jury, there's no lawyer provided, should you not be able to afford one, where their industry term is actually weep 'em and reap 'em. That means they will extend conflict, extend child abuse so that everyone can continue to get paychecks. And the chick, they want to wreck the ex to get the checks. We've seen it 1,000 times. You all stand right by it going on the street right now. We're all guilty of this. These kids are being lied to and cut off from one parent and being extremely psychologically abused is well recognized now. Please see Anti-Alienation Project. She's one of these kids and she's become a saint. That's talk about take your challenges as opportunities to build change, strength, overcome them, and become an angel. Maddie, Anti-Alienation Project. So I will not be coming to LA until they shut that child abuse racket, child trafficking by their own parents, the one person they're supposed to be able to trust, down. Until they shut that down, I don't come back to the States. And I am a valiant hero that was accommodated by my strike group admiral, and that was apprenticed to me by my departmental master chief in front of the entire engineering department, deployed on the search for weapons of mass destruction as a chemical, biological, and radiological warfare defense specialist in 2005. Hua.
Okay,
So
so no
yeah,
LA. No LA,
unfortunately,
got it.
but, that being said, what you should do is come visit me anywhere down here in Central and South America, eat the nutritional diversity diet, make a 20, 30-day commitment with me, dude, and we'll get you into Spartan shape. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about all this Spartan advancement. And I don't know, like I said, I'm a biologist, not a technologist, but I got to build this tech thing and I got to market it on these tech platforms. You know what I mean? So there's an opportunity for you to get behind me and let's do this. You know what I mean? Unbelievable, unfathomable, taking the biggest challenges on with a smile, and really believing in ourselves within that we can do it and get respect from above. And then we will. We will.
Yes,
Watch.
I'll be watching.
there's there's real magic happening with it right now. You know what I mean? What's up? We have to believe in more than we know.
You have to
To
be
step
Jesus.
into the unknown.
You have to be Jesus, remember?
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I do hang out with a lot of no, I'm just playing. Magdalenish. Um, but I don't know how that happens, but I think it's because my mom. It's more Freudian than
They follow
Magdalenish.
you, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, Ryan,
No,
we have
but
to
you're
do this.
absolutely right.
Yes, yes.
You're
And we have
absolutely
to do
right.
this again. We have to talk. I'm going to be more
Yeah.
prepared next time. I'm going to have topics.
But you know what, man? As success does favor the prepared, that off the hip, Billy the Kid shooter who knows not to shoot in the dark because there might be a little kid standing around who knows not to shoot laser focused in, but who can pull off the hip and make the shot, and no matter what environment, off the side of the horse, galloping, 100 miles an hour. Yeah, that will get respect from above. And that's kind of what we just did, really, man. Like, we were walking high, the wind was strong, we had some trunk. This came out very magically. I swear, dude, diamonds only form under pressure.
Do you want to do this weekly?
Dude, hey, you know what, man? It kind of rolled out somehow. Like, there's something here. There was something from somewhere here.
Don't look above. It's not happening.
Yeah, dude, you know what? I'm definitely right now. Yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down. I'm totally down. And
Yeah, Mondays works for me because I'm alone. I'm doing laundry, but yeah. So
Well, that's the cool thing about these podcasts, man. We can sit by the pool in paradise, and like just do magic and talk about more stimulating things than everyone has ever heard on the internet before.
We should talk about kids next time.
Oh, I'm ready, dude. I'm finally ready. I might be ready. I don't know, but we'll step into the unknown.
Why? What's up? Oh, okay, that's for next
Oh well,
time.
I was starting to tell you a little bit. Yeah, no, the kid. Yeah, I like that idea actually, man. This has been actually an interestingly powerful exchange, bro. Hugs, man.
Yeah, I know. Um, yeah, you might not like what I have to say about kids.
All right. Oh
Or
well,
maybe
now
you
I'm
do. I don't
intrigued.
know.
I'm intrigued.
Well,
I think.
that's for next time.
All right, all right, all right. Well, maybe I will be prepared then too. Actually, no, I'm gonna try to add an extra chapter of meditation, maybe some sauna, since I'm in the rich. I don't know how. I don't know
Well,
how.
I did an episode with Rob.
With Rob,
Yes.
I love Rob.
It got a little dark. So I don't know if you
Oh, did
wanna.
it? Wow. Where is it?
It's on my show.
I didn't see it. Okay, I will do. How many? It's like what?
Um,
Several episodes ago.
no, dude, I only had 37,
Yeah.
and I was gonna stop. I told you I was gonna stop podcasting.
That dude, that's an interesting. All right, all right. So I would venture to say, and my recent experience on the web, because man, just a few years ago, I didn't have a bank account, I didn't have a phone. I was completely later, I was in the real world actually. I was in the realist world. I was completely out of this bullshit place.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? There wasn't one single mask around me, bro. Not one mask. Can you imagine that? That takes a minute to think about, doesn't it? The master. Dude, when I came back from the jungle, here, let me just really, real quick, put the cherry on that one. When I came back from the jungle, dude, the shroud of bullshit and mannerism bullshit and every bullshit kind of bullshit that we all have wrapped on each other's just to be able to integrate into what we call society today, as we define it today, currently, man, it's thick. It's thick. Go live in nature for a minute and come back into the BS world where people are being fake and stuff. Like, you're very real. You're very real. But bro, that is like a horse kick from a giant horse that you've never even seen. I mean, to reintegrate myself from society back into society being that divorced, dude, there's no question about assistance from above sitting in the Ritz right now, bro. And that's just a little bit of it. Dude, seriously, that's just a little bit of it. Like, I'm just talking about
yeah.
sitting in the
No.
Ritz right now. It's been way more freaking, like, not lightning bolt, I'm not vortex. I'm talking about waterfall of light that is fucking hitting me like how I'm even standing up under it. Whoa. Like, dude, I am seriously testifying to you right now, man, that I am on the light path like crazy. And I'm just like able to do this and stay here, where most of everyone I know, and including the guy that myself 5 years ago, would be way fucking deep into the shit, not talking to nobody, not needing to. You know, this is a very particular spectrum of light within this wide birth spectrum of stuff, and we almost have that analogy I said before, where you got one foot in one place in one world, in another foot in another world. And you could probably, and then after a minute, you could probably really octopus out to where you are dynamically moving through stuff. And lots of people are like, what in the fuck is going on with that guy? You know what I mean? Like, how was he do what in the world? And to the point where that guy, there's a point in that graduation where you just won't come, you would have to put on so much shroud and disguise to walk like these other guys, to go deliver a message to them or bring them into some sort of like world ecological enhancement that's never been, you know what I mean? But that would spark and then completely like, what the fuck were we just doing? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck were we just doing? We were bombing that place just a minute ago. We were conflicted, like that kind of shit was going. I can't believe we were doing that. Like I can't, you know what I mean? And so that's what we need to do, all of us. And I don't know what I'm doing, and this shit's about to blow the fuck up. Though I can see the steps ahead, and they're just like hard to see. Like it's so bright at that point, just right above where I'm at now. I'm just like whoa, and I'm having discernment issues of my own in that, right? No, that discernment thing is such an important thing that you touched on. It's the main thing, man. If you can just like your discernment is your navigation, as Napoleon Hill says. Yeah, you can be go-getter style and beat yourself through that brick wall, but you could also be like water, my friend, as Bruce Lee says, and adapt the greatest measure of intelligence and read, learn from the greats and study and grab the shovel and experiment and apply yourself every minute of the day and never talk about the size of the earth because it really doesn't matter in the end. And then now you're in a position to where you can throw some serious chokeholds on some serious beasts, or you can throw some serious enlightenment or fire or energy source under some seriously prosperous agendas and ideas the other way, which we absolutely need you to do. Please, everybody who can possibly do that, you know, or get behind someone doing that. So yeah, I just need to paddle and do as much productivity and please you two, all of you, find a way to get, you know, I'm actually behind all these indigenous people, man. I'm not the front of this. I'm doing what I'm being pushed to do on this path that illuminates as I walk it. It's been nothing but pure and good going behind. That's exactly precisely what is happening right now.
Yeah. No. But again, it shows.
Right on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on.
So we'll connect hopefully next
So,
week.
so step into it. All right, bro. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it next week. Let's do it Monday, the same time. Let's just make it
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. That's what's
Cool.
up, dude. I feel like cowboys rolling across the west, ready to shoot up the bad guys.
Oh man, we're gonna get to some deep stuff. Cool.
All
Okay, Brandon.
right,
Thank
brother.
you. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you, man. Much
Thank you.
love. Big hugs.
All right.
See you
Bye.
next week.
See ya.